All right, you guys, let's get this review done. So I'm looking at question number 1. We did this one in class, but in case you forgot, it's a single inequality. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. It's going to be 4 over 7. It's going to be negative. Doing that on the other side, we change this to 11 over 1. Multiply by negative 4 over 7. That's going to cancel out, giving me, let's see, negative 44 over 7 on this side. And then when you multiply or divide by negative to inequalities, we change the direction of the sign. So there we go, looking good. Our next question. Oops, I went too many. Our next question is similar. We want to solve and graph this inequality. So since it's just a 16x, we're just going to divide both sides by 16. We're not dividing by a negative this time. So we're going to get x stays the same. The answer is going to be negative. 16 times 2 is 32. So this is going to be 4. So then we're going to go down and select the tool that looks like it has an open circle. Less than means smaller, and that's always going to point towards negative infinity. So let's take a look at finding that tool. Here it is. And then we're going to go to negative 4 and place it on the graph. Well, of course, mine's a little bit glitching, so that's what you would do. Let's try number 3. Okay, so 3 is a basic two-step equation. It says y divided by 2 plus 22. So we're always going to get rid of the constants first, since it's not doing anything with the variable. So I'm going to write this as y divided by 2 plus 22 equals 38. Subtract 22. Y divided by 2 is equal to 16 times by 2 to get rid of divide by 2, and that's going to be 32. All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, another solve and graph. I see that again we have an inequality that has a negative. So we're going to write that as negative 8x minus 6, inequality negative 62. So we're going to again get rid of the constant. So the opposite of minus 6 is plus 6. Then we're going to have negative 8x inequality. These are opposites, so we're going to subtract. I'm borrowing, that's giving me 6, 5, keeping the sign of the negative of the bigger value. Then we're going to divide by negative 8. So dividing by a negative means we change the direction of the inequality sign. And a negative divided by a negative is positive, and this is going to be 7. So this one's going to have an open circle pointing towards positive infinity. And we're going to put that right at 7. Super fun. So now we're going to get into considering this problem. So whenever we see something like look at their mistake, we always just want to try to do it ourselves. So I'm going to distribute the negative 4. It's going to be negative 24. Negative times a negative, that's going to be positive 4y plus 4 equals negative 4. So if we check step 1, the negative 24, they have a minus 4, we have a plus 4. So the mistake was in step 1. So then let's finish this problem. I'm going to add these two like terms together to get 4y. The negative 24 plus 4 is going to become negative 20 equals negative 4. Now I'm going to move the constant over. I'm going to add 20 to get rid of negative 20. It's going to say 4y is equal to 16. And then I divide by 4. And I have y is equal to 4 as the final answer. So this one sure had a lot of 4s. And they just made a tiny mistake. And you can see the answer they got was similar, but not the same. Okay. So looking at number 6, scooch over, we've got a little bit of a bigger problem in terms of like there's more numbers, but we see no, we're solving this math problem. So we see the parentheses, so that means we're going to distribute, and we're going to get 7n plus 12 minus 32n. And then we have like terms over here. 7n and negative 32 both have n, so we're going to add those together to get negative 25n. Still plus 12 is greater than or equal to 137.
Mom, what if I jump off the balcony and I fly in the air, and then I fly in Ayla's dad and Ayla's grandpa's truck?
That would be crazy. So now
I'm gonna bonk my head.
I gotta do this work. We're gonna take away the 12 to get rid of the positive 12. That's gonna give us negative 25n is greater than or equal to 125. And here we have it again. There's a negative, so we have to divide by a negative. And that means that we have to switch the sign. I guess this is a really important idea. That's going to give me the answer of, so 125 is 5/4, so negative 5. So we're going to have the closed circle this time, and less than goes towards negative infinity. Okay. Put that at negative 5.
Mama, okay, fine. I'll go back downstairs with Daddy and sit on the sofa.
Okay. Maybe he'll take you outside. Maybe he'll take you outside. All right. Let's see this Z problem. So Z problem in this one, oh, that's fun, is that we've got the parentheses there. So that's plus 4, 2z plus 3 equal to 15. So far, all of these have numbers just on one side. Okay, and now we're going to, again, there's parentheses, so we are going to distribute. That's our correct next step. Giving me z, I'm going to identify that as 1z plus 8z plus 12 is equal to 15. So together, these are going to make 9z plus 12. Then we're going to subtract 12. And that's going to give me 9z is equal to 3. Now we're solving for z, so we need to get rid of the 9. We're going to divide by 9. And then this is going to have 3 in the numerator and 9. That means we can divide both of those by 3. And this is going to equal to 1. And this is going to equal to 3. So the answer for z is 1/3. So just be really careful. The answer here is B, not C, because we were dividing by 9 and it was bigger in the denominator than the numerator. Very fun. Number 8. Again, we have just variables on one side, so we're really practicing collecting our like terms. Oops, what was that? All right, so on this one, I'm just having trouble seeing this little thing. Okay. I don't know what to do with this. Okay, check. Draw. It's being really weird. So we're going to distribute the -2 to the 3 and to the -6. So that's going to be -6y, negative times a negative, +12. Then over here, same thing, plus 20y minus, let's see, 4 times 8, 32, equals 92. So together it's positive 20 minus 6. So 20 minus 6 is 14y. Then we have 12 and then minus 32. The 32 is bigger, so it's going to be negative. That's going to be 20 equals 92. I'm going to add 20. Then we get 14y is equal to 112. And oops, I forgot my y. Then I divide by 14. And let's see, it does not go in 10 times. It looks like it might be 8. Let's see. Um, 114 times 8. So that's going to equal to 80 plus 32. Thinking of 8 times 10, 8 times 4. And yeah, that's 112. So the answer is D. Nice. Next problem. Aha, this is our first problem that has variables on both sides. So seeing this, let's start. Again, we've got parentheses, so we have to distribute. And then we're going to, let's see, that's going to be 3 times 2 over 2 x plus 3 times 8 over 2 is equal to x plus 2. So here we're going to see that the 2's will cancel. And then the 8 is going to divide by 2 and make 4. That's going to give me 3x plus 3 times 4, 12, is equal to x plus 2. So now I have x here and I have x here. So I'm going to get rid of this x because it's smaller. And I'm going to remind myself that that's 1x. And that's going to give me 2x plus 12 equals to 2. Subtracting the 12, I'm going to get 2x is equal to -10. So we're going to get -5 as our answer for this one. So really good. Just be careful with your fractions. Go left to right. Yeah, it should be fun. Okay, Emily's solving a problem. So again, whenever we see something like this, we want to do it ourselves. So let's get started. And that's going to be 2x plus 18 is equal to, distributing here, 4x plus 28, and then plus 2. So our step 1 is the problem. Step 2, this is the same, 4x plus 28, but definitely missing that plus 2. So we need to add that plus 2 in here. I don't see any difference in step 2 to step 3. So we're seeing this is the first step, and then let's finish and let's solve this ourselves. So we've got 2x plus 18 is equal to 4x, and then 28 and 2 make 30. So 4 is bigger, so I'm going to put x on this side this time. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. That's going to give me 2x plus 30, so I'm also going to subtract the 30. And that's going to give me negative 12. Then it's 2x, so we're going to divide by 2. I'm going to get x is equal to the number negative 6. So take your time. Whenever it says error analysis, you still have to do the problem yourself because you're going to need to know how and show me that you can get the right answer. And you're really just comparing and paying attention. The skill is called critiquing the reasoning of others, and it's one of the important math goals. Okay, so here we have an inequality. I can already see that there's a fraction here, so this is going to be really interesting. I'm going to get rid of this 2 first with plus 2. I'm going to add that over here, and that's giving me negative 2/3 x inequality x plus 8. So now I have x on both sides with the, oh, I forgot to add 8 and 2. That's not 8 anymore. That's going to be 10. Okay. So now seeing that we've got this denominator here, I'm going to multiply everything by 3. See if we like it better. When I do that here, that's just to cancel this out. When I do it here, it's going to be 3 times x. And I'm going to do it here, it's going to be 3 times 10, which is going to be negative 2x inequality 3x and then plus 30. All right, now I'm going to subtract 3x so that all the x's are together. That's going to give me negative 5x inequality 30. And when we divide by negative 5, I'm going to get x inequality, and that number is negative 6. So this works out really nicely, and that's our bottom expression. So that fraction was a little scary. Can always multiply everything by the denominator so that there are no fractions. Call that fraction busting. All right, we're doing great. We're already on question number 12. So it says solve for x. Great. So I know that the answer here is not going to be infinite or no solution because I look at the coefficients and I see that they're different. This is a 6 and this is a 5. So that's always going to have one solution. The 6 is bigger, so I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. Just because I like to keep my coefficients positive, that's going to give me 13 equals 6 minus 5, 1x minus 12. And now we're just going to add the 12, giving me x is equal to 25. That was a great one. Oh, I love it when there's whole numbers. It looks really easy compared to that fraction one we just did. Right on, let's tackle 13. Okay, so right away I can answer part A with closed circle. And then for B, we're going to have to answer the question. So I'm seeing x minus 2x minus 10 inequality 18. Oh, I want to add those together. Not 18. I'm going to put that as 18 plus 1, 19. And then minus 3x. Okay, so together, these are going to make negative x minus 10 inequality 19 minus 3x. Now that it's like fully simplified on each side, negative 1 is actually bigger than negative 3. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides. I always compare so that I get a positive coefficient whenever possible. It's going to give me 2x minus 10. It's greater than or equal to 19. Then I'm going to add 10. Okay, so I can see we're going to get an odd number answer, 29. And when I divide by 2, My answer is a fraction. So I'm getting x is greater than or equal to 29 over 2, which you could also think of as 14.5. So, yep, sometimes our answers are a fraction, and that's when it doesn't divide evenly. Let's see, let's scroll down here if we can. Oh, there it is, B. All right, let's take a look at 14. Oh, this one's silly. This one was meant to be earlier. This one is like what problem we saw earlier. So x is only on the same side. I do want you to know that when we see x, that's 1x. So that's going to be 3x plus 20 is equal to 56. Subtracting 20 gives me 36 is equal to 3x, which means x is equal to 12 because 3 times 12 is 36. Yay, we're on a 15. We're almost done. Okay, what are we seeing here? It says drag and drop. Okay. So when I look at this one, I need to think in my mind how that would be. Okay. So that's going to be 4x plus 12 equals 4x plus 12. This is one of the ones that is infinitely many solutions. And I know because it has the same coefficient and the same constant. Okay. Let's look at the next one. So, I would add 5 and 6. And I would get 11, right? You know what I'm saying? So we'd have 5x plus 6x, that's 11x. And we have the minus 3 and the minus 3. So this one is also infinitely many solutions. Cool. Okay, if I distribute the negative sign on this next one, that's going to give me negative x plus 1 plus 2 is equal to, and I'm going to say 17 minus x. So they both have the minus x. So they have the same coefficient, but this is 3. So 3 does not equal 17. So this one is going to be no solution. Okay. The next one, 2x and x, those are not the same coefficient. That just means that there's going to be one solution. And 9x, and there's no other x. This is just one solution. You would be able to solve that and get an answer for x. So we just have to remember that rule. Infinitely many and no solution have to do with having the same x on both sides of the equal sign, which just means they would cancel out. If you get a true statement, it's infinitely many, and if you get a false statement, there's no solution. Oh, proportions. Okay, let's solve this proportion. Okay, so I'm gonna have, oh, this is the kind where you times by 5. So I need to do 14 times 5. So the answer is 70. So if we don't recognize that, what do we do? Well, this is the butterfly math type problem. So we do the cross multiplication when we have a fraction equal to a fraction. But we could also just say, oh, this is z divided by 25, so I could times by 25. That's going to be 25 times 14 divided by 5. So with fractions, this is division by 5. So I can't divide 14 by 5, but I can divide 25 by 5, and that's going to give me 5. And then I'm going to get that 5 times 14, which we did a minute ago, and that's going to give me 70. So our answer to this one is 70. Cool. Let's take a look at 17. Okay, which equation is equivalent to the given equation? So let's do the first step. So this time it's 7 and 8. I can't multiply by 7. I can't multiply 7 by like 5 to get 8. So I'm going to do this fun math, and that's going to be 16 is equal to 7 times n plus 3. So I'm seeing the 16 a bunch. The 56, that's wrong. And that's going to give me 7n plus 21. So 2n plus 6, no. 7n plus 21, yes. Oh, they forgot on D to distribute. So the answer is B. And then it says solve. Let's finish this problem. Minus 21. It's going to be 7n is equal to negative 5. Then we need to divide by 7. And my answer is going to be the fraction. N is equal to negative 5 divided by 7. And I hope you can just use a slash there. All right, 18. Okay, this time we got to do it all on our own. So again, if I multiply 6 by 2, it's not 8. So we're going to have to do the whole thing. It's going to give me 6 times x minus 9 is equal to 8 times x minus 5. Okay, so that's going to give me 6x minus 54 is equal to 8x minus 40. All right, 8 is bigger, so I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. Got negative 54 is equal to 2x minus 40. So now to isolate x, we're going to add 40. That's going to give me negative 14 is equal to 2x. So x is going to be equal to negative 7. Okay, cool. We've got 2 more, and these last 2 are the solving for y. So this is solving so that it says y on one side all by itself. So I'm just going to write this over here so I have more space. 3x minus 5y is equal to 20. So this is the y term. So I need to get rid of the 3x. I subtract 3x. That's going to say negative 5y is equal to negative 3x. But this was a positive 20, so we put a plus 20 there. And now we need to divide by negative 5. I'll do that here and here. And so that's going to give me y equals, let's simplify this. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So we're just going to write 3/5 x. And then a positive divided by a negative, that's going to be negative. And the answer to this is 4. So it's not A, it's not B. Ah, here it is. It's C. Loving it. All right, last one. Same idea here. So if you want more practice with this, you definitely want to do that solving for y worksheet, the extra credit. So again, we'll write it down again. 9x minus 7y is equal to 23. So I'm going to subtract 9x. I'm going to write that as negative 7y, negative 9x, positive 23, just like last time. Okay, I'm dividing by a negative, dividing by a negative, dividing by a negative. So that's going to give me y is equal to positive 9 over 7x. And then over here, we're going to simplify that. Positive divided by negative is a negative. And I'm just going to leave it as 23 over 7. And this is my final answer. So I don't need to type in the y again. I would just need to type in the 9 over 7. And then minus 23 slash 7. Okay. The way that I wrote that x, why is it so big? My caps lock is on. It will mark it wrong with that. So now I'm done. All right. So hopefully that helps you.